We'll now transition to the meeting of the directors of the Parker Valley Healthcare District. Would you like a?
I don't think we need to recess out. Nodding to Trina, she's got some family stuff to take care of.
Of course. Thank you. So we'll call to order that meeting at 7:19 p.m. Rosie, whenever you're ready, please give us a roll call.
Yes, Director Brill. Here. Director Gallagher.
Yes.
Director Pennell.
Yes, here. Here. There's no closed session before tonight's meeting. I'll turn to staff if there's any agenda modifications for consideration for tonight's meeting. Seeing none, move us to public comment on matters not on tonight's agenda. Anyone online wishing to speak on matters not on tonight's agenda? Okay, seeing none, no members of the public. With this in person, I will close in the public comment and move on to comments from our board members. Any comments from our board members before we move on to the consent agenda? Please.
Just ask anybody watching right now to go review the public comments during our community hospital board meeting earlier today. They were very on point, both from our elected assessor reporter, who is issuing revised property tax statements as soon as this Friday. So there was an error on the county side in the calculation. So that information is going out. More importantly, there's a county website and an FAQ page, frequently asked questions, available for members of the public. So I encourage anybody to rewatch those public comments, as well as thank all of our nurses who held a really on point memorial and moment of reflection of what we're dealing with right now, the loss of so many lives. And I just want to thank the nurses and again encourage members to rewatch those comments.
Thank you. I just want to speak out into the record as the board chair of the Parker Valley Healthcare District. I just want to thank. I know that we received an update on the Rural Health Transformation Program from our CEO on the hospital agenda, our hospital board meeting. But I do want to just thank all of our community partners that have already sent a letter of advocacy to PHCI, to our state representatives. Just thank you for your continued advocacy and for your support of this hospital and this healthcare district, and the folks who take care of our community here. We received an update that the application process will likely start near the end of Q2 of this year, and so we still believe that we deserve a share of those $233 million that have come to the state of California. We'll continue to advocate for that so that we can get through a really difficult time financially for this hospital. And just know that the healthcare district and our board are having a continuous conversation with our state legislators and also our members in Congress as well, to ensure that they understand the challenges that we're facing right now and advocate for additional dollars to help us through this time. So just wanted to speak that out into the public record. Any other comments from our board before I move on to the consent calendar? Okay. Seeing none, I'll move us on to the consent calendar. I believe we have 3 items today. That's right. The first item is our minute approval for our December 17th meeting. The second item is our correspondence that we have received from December 15th, 2025 through January 20th, 2026. And then our third item is the Chief Financial Officer December 2025 year-to-date financial performance update for Watsonville Community Hospital, which this same 5-member board received as a part of the Watsonville Community Hospital Board of Directors meeting. Any questions for staff before I go out to public comment? Okay. I'll open up public comment now. Anyone online wishing to speak on the consent calendar? Seeing none. Seeing no members of the public with us in person, I'll bring it back to the board for an appropriate motion.
I'll move approval.
Who wants to
I'll be second. Gallagher.
Thank you. Thank you, Directors Gallagher and Pennell. I'll take roll on this item. Director Creel.
Yes.
Director Gallagher.
Yeah.
Director Pimentel.
Yes.
And Chair News.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to our first discussion item. It is the Fall River Valley Healthcare District board member vacancy. There's a recommendation before us to provide direction to consider appointment of one new Fall River Valley Healthcare District board member to fill a vacancy for the first half of the current board term per California Government Code. Steve, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, thanks. So with Dr. Cox, Dr. Gabriel Cox's resignation, which was effective January 16th, we have the opportunity, the board has the opportunity to fill that seat and two different options. One is that the remaining members of the board appoint someone to fill that vacancy for the remainder of the first half of the term. So that would be through November 2026. Option number two is that the board calls for a special election to fill the remainder of the term. Based on the timing of how that works with the election board, the special election wouldn't be able to happen until the regular November 2026 general election. So that would just result in leaving the seat vacant between now and November of 2026. So the most straightforward and probably public facing way to do this is to I think is option one, to fill the vacancy. We have the process, we know how to do this. We have press release that if the board so chooses, we could send that out so that the community knows that we've got that vacancy. We have an online application process. We could actually complete that process by the time we have our next meeting in February, which would be ahead of the deadline that is mid-March, because we have 60 days if we're going to do this from the time of her, when her resignation was effective, which was January 16th. So I, Rosie, Noel can answer questions as you have them. But we should make that decision tonight.
Any questions from the board about the two options or the decision from this?
So to clarify then, if we go with option one, we appoint someone till the results of the November election and then someone gets elected for the second half.
Correct.
Got it.
And then in 2028, the election goes up, or that position goes up in the zone that is available for a four-year term from 28 to 32.
So the short
Yeah.
term and then the 26 to 28 short term are both at large.
At large.
So it could be anywhere.
Yes,
Anyone from anywhere.
yes.
The 28 is also not
No.
large.
No.
From the person who's appointed is at large, and then the 26 to 28 election, the half term is at large. And then the 28 election for the 28 to 32 term is gonna be specific to the zone.
Oh, it's a half term because.
Yeah, because
it
she's
was
in her
term.
first half of her term.
Right, because she
Yes.
was, okay,
Yes.
that's what I was confused by, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I had to read it a few times
Yeah.
before I figured it out.
And it's considered at large at this point?
Yes,
Okay, but then would it make sense to, in the release, to share which, I guess it doesn't matter, but so someone doesn't get on the board and then think, oh, I'll run in that same, I guess it's still at large, so it doesn't really matter. I was just thinking of zones.
right, so it will still be at large in the 26 election,
Okay,
and then in
so
the
it
28
doesn't
election.
just say what the
Will
zones
all,
are.
will all be zone related. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Other than this comment, I hope, we have a practice in this, and I agree with staff recommendation. The low cost option is the only option we should consider. We already have a practice of doing that. And I hope whoever submits understands that they'll have a very short time period to then submit their nomination papers for the election in November. They so choose, So hopefully we have somebody who's interested in not just holding the seat, but running for office and committee. But I'll end there.
Joe?
Is that a motion to?
I motion staff recommendation. Second.
We did not put forth an.
I motion that we take option one, which is we find the most cost-effective method by seeking to fill this.
Fill the vacancy within 60 days.
Yes, yes.
Also second.
I also still need to go out for public comment on this. We did it backwards, but we're a little ahead. Still good, right, Noel? Yeah.
I was on roll.
Okay, I'm gonna go out to public comment on this. Anyone online wish to speak on this item? Okay, no one here in person with us, so I'll bring it back. We do have a motion on the floor. Any final questions or comments before we do a roll call vote? I do just have a closing comment. I know I read the statement from Katie, now it's Dr. Gabriel Cox, call her that. I just want to acknowledge just the Herculean task that she had of continuing to provide service as a doctor and OB there here at the hospital, while also trying to put up the firewall as much as she could and continuing to be as a member of the board of directors for both the hospital and the district. And just want to acknowledge just publicly just her service to step forward back in 2022 when there was so much unknowns, and the first 6 to 8 months was all about raising the $60-odd million just to give us a shot to be here one day. So I think you said it earlier, we lost a board member, but we're not losing her, right? She's still an ally. She's still an advocate for the hospital. She's still a great resource for us. And I'm going to text her right now that everything is going well. So and just appreciate her work and everything she's done to advance healthcare in our community. So with that, is there no other comments, and we can have a roll call vote? Okay.
Dr. Brill?
Yes.
Dr. Gallagher?
Yes.
Dr. Sitterfeld?
Yes,
Chair Newman?
Yes.
well said.
Okay, we'll bring us to the last item of the night. It's item number 5. It's an organizational meeting, an election of the 2026, the Potter Valley Healthcare District Board of Officers. Similar to the hospital board meeting, we have 4 motions in front of us. We have one, a motion to elect the chair of the district board. We have 2, pass a motion electing the vice chair of the district board. 3, to pass a motion electing secretary of the district board. And the 4th and final motion is to pass a motion electing the treasurer of the district board, with these elected officers taking office on January 29th, 2026. As was advised of the hospital board, this board can also vote on these officer roles as a slate as well, if we would choose so to do that. And I'll pass it to Steve if you have any additional color on this that you'd like to add.
The only additional color I will say is that staff and myself have appreciated the last couple of years having the same officers on the 3 boards. It eliminates confusion on the processes that we have. So thank you for that.
Okay, any additional questions before I open up for public comment on this from the board? Okay, seeing none, I'll open up public comment. Anyone online wish to speak on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for an appropriate motion.
I'll move the recommendation to appoint as a slate our 2025 officers to be our 2026 officers.
I'll second.
Thank you. Take roll on this item. Director Brill?
Yes.
Dr. Gallagher?
Yes.
Dr. Sitterfeld?
Yes.
Chair Newman?
Yes. Okay, thank you. I'll adjourn to the next meeting.